Podcast with Victor Pacheco. Hello and welcome to Papicock Podcast with your host, Victor Pacheco. We got a really great show for y'all tonight. But before we do, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors at Long Beach Comedy at Harville's every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Come through, celebrity drop-ins and award-winning dancers. So burlesque comedy is going to be legit. Come through. At any rate, we have a really special guest today. A mentor of mine, a really great friend of mine, a very funny comedian, and a very great host, which is one of the best in the world, if like that I've ever seen. I want to give it up real big for my man, Mr. Tony Sparks,
Thank you.
the Godfather of Bay Area comedy. That is legitimate moniker that I did not make up on the spot. That is something that is Tony's a beloved person in the Bay Area, and I want to know the origins to the Godfather of Bay Area comedy. Like, do you remember the origins of who gave you that title? Because like
you know what, not exactly. It started out I was the Don King of the open mic. I was at one point. Yeah.
Oh my God! Yes.
At one point, I was the monopoly for the open mics because the main people who were out here doing their thing, I was not included in their thing, and they quickly fell off, and my things start to grow. And so I had a mic every night of the week except for Sunday because I didn't want to compete with the punchline.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and so my name was, this is kind of pre-internet. So my name was constantly in the paper every day associated with comedy. And so, and because I was the monopoly, people were like, oh, this cat is the Godfather. He's taking over, And I used to, how they have Bay Area Comedy Network on Facebook, where they tell you all the places to go. Well, I used to talk with people, and I used to print a monthly list of all the places to go. And then I also printed a little booklet along with that had like other things pertaining to comedy. So
I mean, another thing though, people need to understand this. Like, Tony would give raw feedback to brand new open micers, including myself, like many years ago, and it's just beautiful, man. Like some of the things that you said to me, I've seen you really like rip into like wannabe, like I'm taking this opportunity to be racist or sexist or misogynistic. Like, you know what? Like, you really just pounded them. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Come back here when you want to do some comedy. Not some fucking hate speech. Oh man, I've seen it. It's really hilarious. Like, and I'm like, oh my God, he's serious too. And that's why that's why I'm dying, and everyone's laughing their ass off because it's just like, I mean, especially with hate, you call out hate. And it's just, there's so many hateful people out there. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make you out to be like the angry black guy. No, for the viewers at home, because it's just Tony's very respectful of stand-up, and so I want to know, what do you think a comedian should be doing in order to honor stand-up if they really want to be a stand-up comedian?
Well, here's the thing, and it happens all the time. I saw this lady like a week ago, and she was just on stage talking. And then there's another lady I saw like months ago, and she's asking me, oh, how do I get paid? But she has no concept of how to actually create a joke. I mean, 25 words or less to the laugh, and actually go somewhere with what you're saying. Actually try to make something, try to make a point. See, here's the thing. People nowadays think that all you got to do is get up and talk. They don't know that there's a structure. There's something behind everything that you do that makes it what it is, and they don't quite get that. They think, oh, I'm watching somebody and they just talking, so I can get up there and just talk. No, that's not it. So if you're a brand new comic and you want to do this, first of all, I'm going to say, don't. All right. Second of all, yeah, because this is a shit profession. Second, because people don't think it's bullshit. And so you get no respect. But it's one of the hardest professions you could do. The other thing is, if you are going to
Amen.
do it, please, why don't you read a book that tells you how to write a joke, how to actually write, set up punchline joke, how to not only write a joke, maybe deliver a joke, not an essay on, oh, this is my life in comedy. No, that's bullshit. This is what happens. No, read a book on how to actually write a joke, learn the structure, and then do whatever you want. But first, learn the structure. If you're a piano player, you learn to play the piano. If you're a guitar player, you learn to play the guitar. If you're even a drummer, you learn to play the drums. All right.
Yeah.
It's really rare that you have an ear and can just do it. All right. And a lot of people think they can and they can't. So please learn first, learn the basics, and then do what you want.
But here's the thing though, like most comics, they don't fucking read. Like they don't read at all. And so like I've read a bunch of autobiographies of stand-up comedians and like everything that they've been through before I did stand-up, so those are, kind of like lessons that you learn it, like not like how to, but just, the stuff that comedians go through. And it was like Artie Lang and Rodney Dangerfield. So it's just like those, like, what bigger personalities than those two, like reading. But like I don't know, it's just like I feel like everybody, like when they start stand up, they want to be a version of their hero or a variation of the hero, and so it's like they want to copy that type of tempo or like that type of
Well,
shock value or value system, if there is no shock value.
well, here's the deal. I mean, that in itself is not so bad because when you there's a technique for writing that takes, like, it's like writing for your favorite comic. Uh the only problem, the deal is this, is that okay, a lot of comics have the same um persona, the same kind of thing. Like they might be a ranter, like Doug Stanhope and both Lewis Black are ranters, but they sound very different. Okay.
Right.
Uh, so it's important to understand, yeah, sure, do your thing, kind of maybe even follow your person, but keep in mind that you want to take the essence, but not the actual delivery, not like mimicry. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. But also like being yourself, having your own voice, and going out there and like I don't know, like I've seen some straight up people down. I mean, I'm in SoCal now, and one night I heard on the same showcase that I was on, as a Latino showcase, and I heard George Lopez, I heard Carlos Mencia, and I heard Gabriel Iglesias, and none of them were on the show. I just meant
Oh,
like
wow.
like I just heard their voices from like a comedian. I'm just like, this is
Well,
insane.
one of the things I'm finding is that people, since maybe the 80s, there's been sampling of music, and people, and I know a dude who made a lot of money taking already like prints, photographs, paintings, and he would draw over them and then sell them as his own art. All right. Same with like comedy. I'm running into a lot of people that are getting on stage and doing other people's material And I'm like, you can't do that, you know? You can't do that. But more so, what I'm running into are people that are really stupid and they just get up and talk. Like, and then I went and bought some chicken, shit like that. Like, shut up. God damn.
Wait, are they trying to tell a story or are they just venting? Or like, what's the deal? What do you mean by just talking?
I have no idea, but it's really kind of sad.
Okay, so then that just sounds like they're just venting with no
Yeah, it
punchline.
sounds like they really need somebody to talk to, and they need a motherfucking hug. Oh, I'm sorry, a hug. Um,
No, no, that's cool. No, we're unfiltered and we're uncensored. We've only blur out names when people slip and say fucked up shit and like, hey, can you blur that part? And I'm like, yeah, I'll tell my
okay.
producer.
But yeah, that is just it's just really kind of sad, dude. And they really think they're doing it, and you can't talk to them. You can't say, "Hey, listen, don't, don't just get up there and talk." Have a point, a direction. Oh, I have a direct. No. You were just up there talking, and it was really sad. you know. And here's another thing too. Sometimes they get mad because the audience is not laughing at what they're just talking about.
I,
Then you have people who bomb completely and never acknowledge the bomb. Here's the thing: when you have a day job, not every day is good. Okay. So the same exists in comedy. Not every show is going to be your best show. Not
right.
every show are you going to get the laughs or the audience is going to like you. You've got to remember that. And you're a human being, and it's okay for it not to work that day. But these motherfuckers get off and they like, I killed them. And you heard crickets. It's sad.
Yeah, no, I've seen it, and then like I've seen people post and like they're like, I killed it, and I was just like, yeah, the ambiance in the room, you did not kill it, like in the sense of like I've mastered this crowd and tamed it and just whooped it into shape and made them laugh so hard. I'm just like, "Ooh, what did you do a different show than the show we just did right now?" But I don't know. It's just I don't know. I mean, for some people, just like being brave enough to go on stage, that's what they accomplished. That was the kill. And it's just
Exactly.
it's like stop patting yourself on the back and tell some fucking jokes or I don't know, man. Like it's just like people are like I want to be a storyteller on stage. I'm like, you can, but you have to add punchlines.
Okay, here's the deal. I'm glad you said that. All right. First of all, a lot of people get up and say, I'm not a comedian, I'm a storyteller. Well, why don't you just say, I'm going to fail? All right. That's how that works. Okay.
Well,
Oh, wait a minute. Wait,
yeah, no,
wait.
I didn't interrupt. I
I'm
didn't
gonna
interrupt.
explain to you what I mean. I'm gonna explain to you what I mean. Here's the thing that people never understand as a storyteller. Okay. Listen, yeah, you can tell a story, but you have to understand your core personality. Am I an anxious person? Am I an angry person? Am I a scared person? All right. Am I a happy person? So here's the deal. Within a story, every 25 words or less, you got to have something funny, and it has to come from that personality. All right. If you see any successful storyteller, the thing behind what that person that he or she is doing is the fact that they understand their onstage character, their personality, and that's why the story is working. Okay. A lot of people get up and just tell a story and they've done it to their friends. Well, your friends know you. So it works with them. You're working for an audience that needs to know who you are like that off top. So your personality, your core personality, whether you're an angry person, happy, anxious, has to shine through already. So you need to understand that. And every sentence has to fall into that particular character and personality. That's why stories work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I definitely believe that, and I've seen it. Like I've seen stories work, and it's like stories are a part. I think stand-up comedy is storytelling. It's reporting. It's journalism. It's psychology. It's a lot of shit. It really is. It's therapy for not just the audience.
Exactly.
I mean, for the comedian on stage. It's like, there's a lot of hats held as a comedian, and it's like really crazy because I don't know, people are better at it than others. And it's just like Tony is very gifted at riffing on the spot and also hosting. I would say that Tony is one of the best hosts I've ever seen in my life. And I'm
Okay.
not just saying that because you're on the podcast. I'm just saying that, like, honestly, I've never seen like somebody just light up a room from the beginning and make the comedians sound like $1 million, even if they're pieces of shit in real life. And and so like that's like one of those things where I'm just like, how, I don't know, like what does it take to be a great host? Because you're a great host, not a good host. You're a
Thank you.
great host, and like you're reliable, and it's just like it's like old faithful. It's like, I swear to God, like the only time like I've ever seen you have not a good set as a host, I've seen you have to just whoop that ass and just get that audience. Then they were in shape, like, but they never beat you. There was just like they just didn't care
Oh
for like
yeah.
2 minutes. And it's just like,
Yeah.
like you're like, no, 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 it's comedy show time. So I'm sorry, my bad. Going back to my question, what does it take to be a great comedy host?
All right. Here's the thing. I think that it's very important that you understand it's the importance of what you do at the time you're hosting is the overall show. Forget who your ego and who you are. All right. It's about making the show work. All right. So it's more about raising the audience up, getting them really ready for the show in whatever way you can to do that, and not about your material. It's definitely using your comic character, but not about your material. Also, you've got to be in the moment, and a lot of people aren't in the moment, and that's why they fail as a host, or they just don't care. So I've noticed some people will get up and they'll just introduce the next person and never make a comment on what they just saw, their impression, or never bring like a personal touch to their introduction. Those things make a big, huge difference. And it's all about the energy in the room. Like, let's say a comic does horrible, well, you need to make sure you fucking do something after to kind of lift it up, and it has to be connected to what that person said or did. Let's say a comic did amazingly well, well, you just go right into the next comic. Don't keep that energy up. Don't bring it down by trying to be funny or out funny that wonderful person that just got off. It's about the overall show, not about you as the host. Because if you make it about the show, then when people look back on it, they go like, wow, that host was really wonderful. He really knew what to do. But you gotta stay in the moment. One of the things I think about hosting that I think is really great is that if you host, you find your voice. If you host you stay in the moment, you get funnier. And that is really, really very helpful.
So yeah, being in the moment and riffing and like, having these interactions like with people, and it's just like you just have this natural ability to just turn the room around. And so it's just amazing because I've seen people try to steal that technique from you at other shows of all different races, And I'm just like, yeah, nice Tony Sparks. That's a real good impression. Like this is like
well,
not.
well,
I've seen
well.
it a few
Here's one of the
times.
things.
I've seen it a few times actually. But
Yes,
but pre-pandemic, of course. But I mean, I'm just like, that's Tony Sparks right there. Shut the fuck up. Like. But no, dude. Like I really have been impressed with the way, and also I just want to talk about one of the. It's a bittersweet thing to talk about, but I feel it needs to talk about. But I want to talk about the brainwash because the
uh,
brainwash was where I really got to meet you. I mean, like get to know you, and just like it was just like it really went from waiting 4 hours just to get your name on the piece of paper to walking in, hey, you want some food or alcoholic beverages? And I'm like, what the fuck? How did this happen? Like it was just like, but I figured out that crowd. I figured out a lot of things about stand up through the brainwash. The
right.
brainwash I learned that you absolutely cannot give a fuck what the audience thinks. You
No,
have to like you really like I mean, I hate to sound like this, but you have to be selfish in the sense that you know this is going to be hilarious and you have to believe in
yeah,
yourself, you have to believe in your material, you have to like I mean like the pros, they don't go to open mics. I mean no, I mean that's not true, but I mean there's a lot of pros that can't go to open mic because they're too big, and so like they have to have, you know, places to try out the new jokes or where else in front of their fan base. You know what I mean? So like even if they pull out a piece of paper or they pull out their cell phone, like, you know, the fans are like, yeah, we want to hear new jokes. You know what I mean? Like they've heard all the
exactly.
albums and whatnot. And so I don't know. It's just like I really think that the brainwash was one of the most awesome places. And I was wondering if you have any um stories that stand out to you about the brainwash, like that whether warm or not so warm. But yeah, man, I've seen you had to have to kick a few motherfuckers out though, because
Yeah,
out of respect to stand-up comedy and the venue and
it's
just
yes,
everything in the audience and just in general, you know, because you're a man of principle. And brainwash was mecca, and brainwash is, oh man, that I cried over brainwash like somebody fucking died. Like it was horrible. Like it was,
you and me both.
dude, it was horrible. Like, and brainwash was a cafe slash laundromat, and
Right,
people don't believe that. People would come with the whole family and do laundry and get food at the brainwash and then come and sit down,
exactly, and
and then a comedy show would be happening with a, well, actually a open mic show would be happening,
yes,
and that's no holds bar. Anybody could go up and say whatever they want. And
whatever.
oh my God, in front of families, in front of like 5-year-olds, in front of
Hmm.
8-year-olds. And it just did not stop certain comics from saying very devastating, belligerent, sexist, misogynistic. I don't even know. Over sexual, like, dude, you can't talk in front of kids like that. Like you're an
Yeah,
idiot. Like, you know,
yeah.
I don't know. I heard this story about how there was a family in the front row at the brainwash, um, and like a father, a wife, and 2 kids, and this guy's like, yeah, so I noticed there's kids here, and the only joke I have is about a having sex with a dead hooker. And the story goes, and Tony Sparks screams, "Talk about anything else." And the guy proceeds to say, I'm sorry, that's all I got," and just boom, just does his dead hooker joke in front of the family and just scares them away. And so I'm just like, I believe it. Like I really, I honest to God believe it. I've seen similar stuff happen at the brainwash where I'm just all like, oh, cool. Can I go up? Yeah, we got you going third. That's a good spot. I'm like, that is a good
Mm.
spot. That's a great
Oh
spot.
yeah,
And then comic one and comic two walk every civilian in there. So it's just comics, open micers, us hang arounds. Like it's just, it was a lot of, oh my, I mean, the brainwash was great. I remember this one guy, I called him out for being on LSD and he gave me $20. And I was like, man, I don't got to suck your dick,
that's
right?
right.
Oh my God, it was crazy. I was like a mystic and shit. Like I was like, damn, this fucking homeless looking dude has way more money on him than I do.
Oh, that was beautiful. I remember that. I
Dude,
remember that.
it was phenomenal. Like
Ah,
I couldn't believe it, man. And oh man, I even got into it one time with the waitress there, the tall one. And
yeah.
but
Oh
yeah,
my God. And you know what? That waitress that you got into it with, it turns out that she was stealing money from the business. And it that was part of the business ending. She stole money for like a year. Yeah.
wow.
And she tried to blame that on me and Anthony Medina, who was working with me there.
There's no way you guys
Uh,
were the shit where you guys ate like that. There's no
right,
way.
but
There's no way.
she was stealing loads of money, giving away. There was always during that time there was always these creepy people who would show up and they would be eating, and we had a lower attendance during that time because they were just talking nonstop all over what we were doing. Well, they didn't have any respect for what we were doing. They were stealing money. They were giving away food to their friends. And so when he
Jesus.
fired her or them, boom, everything went back up like vroom, There was, because it started on a Thursday
Yeah.
on in 99 on April Fool's Day. Thursdays were always packed. So it didn't matter what they were doing. They could not stop the power of the Thursdays. But the other nights, they were really hurting our business. And but the one thing that made this whole thing work overall is that I don't know whether it was Anthony, I don't know whether it was the owner Jeff, but they decided to put in cameras and to film the show every day. Well, the show was going out over the internet and everyone was seeing it. And the show was getting bigger and bigger, even though it seemed like just a small little microcosm, but the world was getting to see what was going on. And in fact, Japan even developed some facial recognition software based on the stuff they were getting off of the camera.
Imagine how much shitty comedy those developers went through with those facial
That's
recognitions. Like this is what an angry person looks like. This is what
that's
a
funny.
this is what a
You,
happy
you,
person looks like.
that's funny. I have a whole box because there's a guy Quinlan who would come in and
Yes.
film every show, right?
Yeah.
So I have a whole box, like a letter box, the box you get at a job site.
Yeah.
So I have a whole box of DVDs that are horribly filmed, but they're all brainwash stuff from like maybe 2005 or 2010 or something like that,
Yeah.
up until the end.
If Quinlan liked you, he'd give you a tie-dye shirt and some really horrible weed.
Exactly.
And he was a sweetheart, but I'm just like I don't know what to do with his weed. Like I really don't. Like
That's
I can't smoke this shit. I never told him. I never had the heart. So Quinlan, if you're hearing this, I'm sorry.
that's funny.
But I did
Well,
appreciate that. You know
well, he would give me weed, and I really can't smoke. I
mm.
can't do anything. I can't drink, smoke, nothing. So I would always give it to somebody else, and they would never complain. It was free weed, so they didn't give a shit.
Well, yeah, no, that's how most people see it. But I'm just like, I can't smoke that weed. My lungs are too fucked up to be smoking horrible weed like that.
Yeah,
So, and then also the two, like, I don't want to make edibles out of that. I'm not really too sure about that. Then
that's funny.
I'm not really too sure if I should give it to any of my friends. So
That's funny.
I'm just gonna just tell him no, because I told him I was like, no more weed, man. I like I grow my own, which is a lie. I don't know how to grow weed, but I just told him I grow my own, so it's okay. Don't worry about it, man. So he doesn't, he doesn't give me any more weed, but he's giving me those tie-dye shirts with the bleach and all that shit. So I think he
Yeah.
likes me, but I don't know. It's been a while.
Well,
Like it was crazy, man. The whole brainwash. I don't know. I remember it was
it's a
70s.
wonderful experience. So here's the deal: the guy started the show. He had somebody. He had one. So Brainwash used to have a night for everything: music, poetry, you name it. They had a night for it. They didn't have a comedy night. So Jeff had the music guy come over and come and get me, and he talked to me and said, "Listen, I want to do the show New Year's Eve. I mean April Fool's Day, and I want to. It just as a fluke, maybe hopefully it'll be funny, whatever. And let's just do the show. Well, the show was popular immediately. It packed out, and that's why people were hiring me because I would take a room and that didn't have anybody, let's say on a Wednesday, and then all of a sudden your Wednesdays are packed. And so that's why I was the monopoly at the time. So he got me, the show got packed, and it got more popular than any of the shows I've ever done. Okay.
Damn.
Uh, and so I mean, man, so a lot of people that were starting in comedy came, and there's a lot of people that are pretty famous right now that have said to me, "Oh, Brainwash was my first show," or "I came to the Brainwash and did this and got this," because there used to be people from like all of the television stations at the time, like Fox, NBC, ABC, CBS. Uh, they would all come and look for people for different things, uh, movies, voiceover work, everything. And they tell me, hey, we're looking for Black women. So I would carve out a section on the list, and I would invite every Black woman that I knew that did comedy to perform at that time. I say, you got to be here at this time because that's when they're looking at people if you want to try out for this thing. I remember this gay guy was filming this movie, and he said, I'm looking for a Black guy. And I said, okay. And he said, my script, it's very different. It's going to be something different. Okay. One of the things that happens if you're a Black comic, they want to put your ass in a dress. All right. I don't know why or how
I've
or
heard.
what.
I've heard.
Yes. So his script, what did it have? It had the motherfucker putting on a maid outfit. And he was saying, "Oh, it's so different." No, that ain't different. And then I had to, so everybody who auditioned, they auditioned, and I said, "Listen," I emailed everyone and said, "Hey, the script involves you being in a maid outfit." And I don't know if anybody took the job or whatever, but I mean, some people have come back to me and they go like, "Oh, like different other jobs, like, oh, I got this voiceover job, and I got an award for my work on this voiceover for a video game." Just a lot of things have happened, like we got Sheng Weng, we got Ali Wong, we got Brent Weinbach, we've got we got Mo Mandel, we've got Louis Katz, we got a bunch of people who were
Robin Williams.
brainwashed.
Oh, sorry,
Huh?
my bad. Sorry. No, I was like, I was thinking. I wonder if Robert Williams ever came down to the brainwash. No, right?
Well, I'm glad you said that. He did come around 2002, but he came with his son, and he came, and that was when there were other nights, because Jeff ended up firing everybody eventually,
Oh my
whether it was
God.
music, poetry, whatever. He eventually fired everybody because I was doing so well and they weren't making any money the other nights.
Oh my goodness.
So the comedy was the only thing that was making money. So that's why they went full-time comedy. Anyway, so he came down, Robin Williams, with his son on music night, open mic music night, and his son got up and played a song on the guitar. And so then he then was on Charlie Rose saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the Brainwash and rehearse some of my stuff for my show that I'm doing on Broadway." Well, he never showed up, but people really started flooding the place even more so then, right? And they were like older people and stuff like that. And I didn't want to lie to them and say, "Oh, Robin Williams ain't coming," because I asked him like 3 times to actually come.
Yeah.
And the first time he said maybe. Second time he was like, "I don't know," and then the third he just said, "No, I can't do it." So he never showed up, and I even introduced the owner Jeff to Robin Williams in hopes that he would make a deal with Robin Williams. He would come. Faizon Love showed up, and Hannibal Burress showed up. Paul Mooney showed up, but
Oh my
those are
God. That's awesome. Yeah. Jesus.
yeah. But I mean, that's about it. No, I couldn't get any white celebrities to show up.
You know what? I just hate the way you put that because, I feel like lately it's just like everybody's, I don't know, like non-ethnic comics. I wouldn't consider you an urban comic, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like some people would because it's just like you do a lot of crowd work and it's just like, oh, that's, urban comic territory. I mean, I've never seen you, fuck a stool or anything, so I've never considered you an urban comic. And so I swear to God, so I mean, that's where I draw the line. I'm just like, fuck, because like I'm like, hey, it's just like I don't know, some places like when I first started out, I was just going to Dorsey's locker and like doing these
Oh yeah,
like really like all extra black rooms, just to like, dude, I would take like 3 buses to get there, man. I would take the train,
well,
the
that's
BART,
funny.
and then the bus to get there,
That's funny.
to wait hours to go up to do 4 minutes and then die. Like I would just
It's
die.
funny. I did that room once. Dorsey's Locker was like, yeah, the black room, and they even sold soul food. I didn't know that until
Made by
afterwards. But
Mexicans. Made by Mexicans. Maybe depend. I don't know which area you went,
exactly.
but
Hey,
the
brother, everything's made by Mexicans. All right.
go to Benihana. Trust me.
Exactly. Everything's made by, but that room, dude, was one of the roughest rooms ever to work. It's funny you should mention that because now I have a room on Wednesdays at a place called the Ave Bar, AVE, the like Avenue, short for Avenue. And it's on 1607 Ocean Avenue here in San Francisco. Now, it is when you come in and you hear them playing the music, even though the music is being chosen by this white lady who's the bartender for the night, it is super black music. You say, I would never hear this in a white room. And the room is really black. You have to really capture the audience's attention for them not to talk while you're on stage.
Dude,
They don't give a shit. And you got to work hard. The whole, like every joke, your whole career in the room relies on every single joke that comes out of your face. You know what I mean? And oh my God, these people are
oh,
really, really hard.
you are acting like I've never done Shugs. Like Shugs in Daly City. Like that is exactly what you just described right there.
Yeah.
Like it's
It
just
wait, it's even worse than Shugs in Daly City,
it cannot
dude.
be worse than Shugs and Daily
Oh
City.
no, it
I mean, for a
is.
comedy show, Shugs as a kickback, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to get my ass beat by somebody like, hey, that's our fucking spot. No, but the truth
Shugs
is,
is
it's just
closed, brother. Don't worry.
oh, okay, then yeah, fuck Shugs. No, I'm just kidding. No, I like Shugs. I like Shugs because like I one of the first times like I actually killed it like was there, and like it was like one of those nights where it was like all Bay Area hitters, and it was just like hella people died. Hella
Oh
people
yeah.
died. It was like it
But
was.
one of the things you got to understand, dude, and it's not because I'm on your show. You are really an amazing talent. You are definitely one of my favorite comics, dude. You're one of my favorite people, actually. But dude, you really bring a lot to the table. All right, it would behoove anyone to hire you, whether they're featuring you or headlining you. You are really worth every penny that they would pay to get you there. All right. So, like, you can stand toe to toe with any of these rough rooms or whatever. It doesn't matter. You know
Yeah.
what? It doesn't matter because you got skill and you're very hilarious, dude.
Oh,
You,
thanks,
I
man.
yeah, it's the truth. Shit. I fucking love. Have you? Whenever I got something, dude, my door is always open to you.
No, thanks, brother. I really appreciate that. And it was good seeing you at Max the other night. And it was just like, well, it was surreal because I was just like, fuck, this is like old times, except in different venues. And it's just
Yeah.
like, I'm like, shit, I got to the show way early. Like, you know what I mean? I think the flyer said 8, but the show didn't start till 9. I think the doors opened at 8 and the show started at 9. And my dumbass got there at 7:30. Like, thinking like, oh yeah, we gotta be there by 8. Yeah. The show's
Yeah, we usually start there. It's supposed to start at 8. We usually end up starting at 8:20. I try to always start like right then because people show up to the show really late. If you
oh
notice,
yeah.
by the time you got on stage, there was a lot more people there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I remember that. It was great. It was actually really fun room and really fun time, and the owner was awesome, and it was just like a really good mood, and just like I really, I don't know. And also though too though, man, like not to kiss your ass, but I mean it was just like, a lot of it started with hosting. A lot of it started with from the beginning, the way you set up the show, the way,
Oh,
everything's
thank you.
coordinated. And it's a real show, where there's a DJ, we got everything,
Yes.
we have everything coordinated with, it's just really timed well. And it's just like
And let me ask you, did he the owner order pizza for us?
yeah, so the owner
Good.
did order pizza for us. I don't know if there was times where that did not happen, but like that owner, or I don't know who ordered the pizza. Somebody ordered the pizzas. It must have been the owner.
The owner did.
Well, he was super cool for that. He didn't have to do that, but that was beyond super cool because those were tasty pizzas. They were like artisan pizzas. I'm just like, this is fancy pizza. I wonder if I
There
don't
you
know.
go.
I don't know. I don't know. He's probably some major mafia kingpin who has
Well,
all
this
these like
dude, I gotta
fronts.
tell you, he owns the whole town, dude. Almost every business there or a building, I guess, he owns it. He owns the pizza place.
If he
That's
owns a
why.
pizza place, he could write it off as
Yes.
a donation or whatever for the comedy night. It's just like, yeah, we're sponsoring the comedy night. And I'm just like
Oh,
saying,
nice.
there's so many loopholes where you could just like totally get your money back if you say you spent it this way. Like, no, I'm serious. Like for reals. Like
Yes.
if I was like, like fully, docking every single second, it's like, oh cool. Every time I see Tony, I could go out to eat food with him and I could pay for it. And then I'm like, I'm just marking it off as a business expense. We're just
Exactly.
talking comedy the whole time. But which if I was smart, I'd figure out how to do that. But
Yeah.
what's it called? I don't know. Like I don't think most people do that shit. Like you know what I mean? Like tabulate every single thing. But then there's some people that fucking just do that. Like every single receipt, you gotta be accountable for every single cent that you make. And it's just like, damn. But what's it called? Yeah, man. I just wanted to know if you had any advice for. Okay, well, you've seen firsthand a lot of people with mental illness. I've seen you handle some of these people personally. Um, but how do you keep yourself like so peaceful and so I don't know. I would use the word empowering because you are
Oh,
empowering when it
thank
comes
you.
to motivating people to continue with stand up and to, pursue it and, to keep going. And, it's just how do you keep such a positive personality in stand up when stand up is known to have so many people with mental illness and substance abuse problems and
Mm,
other problems from childhood.
okay. Well, here we go. Look, when I first hit this town, San Francisco, people were so fucked up to me in every way, and every whether it was my day job, whether it was in comedy, whether it was just meeting people on the street, people were fucked up, and I never wanted to do the same thing that they were doing. So it was really important to me to come from a different direction. So I just decided, despite what I've been given from others, I'm not going to be that person. All right. So and here's the other thing. Uh, who am I to kill somebody's dream? Let's say your dream is to be an astronaut or a great drummer. Hey, do that. All right, do that. I'm behind you 100%. Because who knows? You never know who's going to do their thing. One of the things that I don't think people ever think about, and but you kind of mentioned, is that business is a bigger word than show. All right. And it's really important to understand the business of stand up, like writing, like you said, writing things off or or understanding how to sell yourself and gain an audience,
Right.
and what to do, how to invest your money. All that stuff is very important. All right. Here's the thing that really kind of boggles my mind. There are people that are, like I said, just getting up and talking right now, or they only have like 2, 3 minutes of words that flow out of their mouth, but they want to be paid. And like, you got to have a lot more than that to get some money. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely. And or at least be likable. But no, because I've seen some horrible comics that keep getting rebooked and rebooked and rebooked and
Oh
rebooked
my
and
God.
rebooked. And I'm just like, how? How? Like,
Well,
like
see, the
seriously,
people
like
that
how?
okay, here's the deal. Here's the deal. No matter what you do, and it may be something that you don't even like at all, but no matter what you do, there's an audience for everybody out there. All right. There's an audience for I remember a guy who used to fart into a microphone. All right. He had an
Jesus
audience.
Christ.
All right. So there's an audience for everything you do, number one. Number two, uh, comedy is relative. Something that you don't think is funny at all, there's somebody out there who just loves what that person is doing. So remember,
Absolutely.
it doesn't matter. Somebody is in love with what someone is doing, and that's why they're probably getting rebooked. And also, they might understand business. They might understand just how to say something to somebody to get that gig.
That's true too. I never thought of it like that because yeah, sometimes it isn't even what you ask, is what you ask for. And and the way you ask for it,
The way you ask for it, yes. It's
The
not
big
what you say. It's remember that old saying. It's not what you say. It's how you say it.
yeah, that's totally applicable. I mean, but I mean that's the beauty of stand up, man. It's how you say it, because you could fumble one of your own punchlines or fumble one of your own setups to your punchlines and put your punchline in your setup and it's just like, oh fuck, I said that backwards. But like, I don't know. Like, I don't. I've had that happen
but
to me
but
before.
I want you to I want you to understand how even more so this is business when you notice a lot now, a lot of people from the internet are becoming very famous,
Yeah.
uh, and they get on stage and they're horrible because it's two different formats. But the bottom line is this: those people on the internet are gaining this huge worldwide audience. And
Right.
that's why they're getting snatched and saying, hey, come and do this comedy. I remember there's this one girl, she posts all the time. And it's all about weed and smoking weed and commentary videos. And this promoter asked her to host a show, and she was completely terrified of being on stage. So she couldn't do anything. Even though her videos are really funny and entertaining,
Yeah.
actually on stage, she was petrified. And I remember you mentioned the brainwash. Hey, I completely forgot. I remember this one time. Recently, somebody told me that there was this little Asian kid who got on stage. Anyway, so I introduced him. I don't remember his name. I introduced him. He stands up there and he's holding the mic and he's just standing up there, not saying a thing. He is frozen like a deer in headlights with fear, just standing up there. And so I let him smolder for about a minute, right? And then my girlfriend at the time, she was like, "Get him off stage," So I went and I said, "Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. And we got him off stage. But that shit, I mean, it really blew my mind to see somebody, because they say public speaking is like the number one fear, but it
Right.
really blew my mind to see someone that afraid. One of the other things I see people do is they get really, really drunk. I mean, really, like not being able to stand up,
Ye-
almost throwing up drunk, and they want to go on stage and do comedy. And I think that is so painful and sad.
It's
And they come to me and I go like, no, you can't go on because you're too messed up, you're too drunk.
oh
I
my
can
God.
I can I can do it. I can do it. Like, no, I know you probably always wanted to do this, but don't ever do it this way.
Yeah, like sloppy drunk. That's yeah, I don't know. Like I mean, I'm a big boy. The first time I did comedy, I was kind of buzzed. But like, I mean, I had like 11 drinks, but I'm like at the time I
Woo,
was like
shit.
300 I was like 350 pounds, you know what I mean? Like it was like 11 drinks is like, like for a regular person that's like five, like
Wow, that's
so,
amazing.
so it's just like oh my God, it was just like really rough. I mean, like, but now, like, I don't drink before I go on stage. Like, if I'm gonna have a drink, it's gonna be after because like drinking for me throws me off, throws off my timing, and also makes me more sweaty. I'm already sweating on stage. I don't need to sweat anymore with friggin'
Well, I got
alcohol.
to be honest with you. I'm one of those people that if I were to get a little lit, just a little lit, I'm gonna soar and I'm gonna say things that I normally wouldn't say, and I'm going to be super uncensored, and people. I usually gain a lot of fans when I have some juice in me, but I don't do that at all anymore, ever.
Oh my
I don't
God.
drink. I don't even because you remember I used to smoke cigarettes really heavy.
Yeah,
I don't even I have for 5 years now. I haven't smoked any cigarettes.
that's good. Congratulations, man. I remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
you used to smoke. Yeah, man, a hell of people used to smoke. I never took tabs. I remember. I'm just like, fuck. I don't know who smokes, who doesn't smoke. I felt like everybody smoked cigarettes except me. I didn't smoke cigarettes. I mean,
Yeah.
at least not made out of tobacco. I mean,
Nah.
I
Well,
smoked.
see, I don't even smoke weed. I can't even do that. I don't do anything. All I do is maybe drink coffee, you know. That's about it.
What's surprising is that coffee actually does have a stimulant effect on me. It makes me feel a little wired. It makes me feel like if you drink enough coffee, it makes you feel like you had like a point one of Coke.
Ah,
Like it feels like it feels like you're in this euphoric high of like I could accomplish anything because I'm so focused right now. And that's how you feel when you're on Coke sometimes. You're like, I could accomplish anything if I put my
all
mind
right.
on it. And it's so stupid because like, I've had some of my healthiest thoughts when I'm on Coke. I'm like, you know what? I should just go on a mile walk right now. And I look at my clock. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, you are way too fat and way too Mexican to not be stumbling all over the place, and then have
That
to like.
is funny.
Then I'll get pulled over by the cops, for just, I don't know. Like I've literally had people. I'm walking my dog, and I have a little Chihuahua, and I'm a fat guy, right? So it's just like I've had people clutch their purses while they're walking past me and my dog, and
Oh
I'm like,
wow.
what do you think I'm gonna do? Like, do you think I'm casing the neighborhood or something? Like, I'm like literally walking for exercise right now. The fact that this dog's letting me walk her this far without her stopping and being like, nah, pick me up. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know, man. Like I lived in Oakland, so nobody really messed with me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like people are racist, but I mean, like, I don't know. I definitely can vouch that like people were definitely more racist towards black people than Mexicans in Oakland, which is just horrible. But it's the truth. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
like, but down here, dude, they're dogs, man. Like I'm a fat Mexican dude in a Prius, so it looks stolen. So it's just like I got stopped by the CHP, and it was just really bad, man. Like it was
Uh,
horrible because like he's like, how much have you had to drink tonight? I'm like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had a White Claw 4 hours ago, so I'm actually surprised you could smell the alcohol and not all the cum from me and my bros blowing each other. And him and his partner just started laughing their asses off. And then I was just like, here's my proof of insurance and my ID. And they're like, okay, we'll be right back. And then boom, seriously, the fastest I've ever seen anybody run my plates and run my license. They came back within like 90 seconds. They're like,
Wow.
sir, we're happy the car is not stolen. We want you to have a good night and watch your speed. And I was just like, wow, I can't believe I got away with it. Because like they
Mhm.
really made me take a sobriety test because the car smelled like alcohol. Allegedly.
Yes.
Allegedly. And
Yes.
I was allegedly going 95 miles per hour. Allegedly. And
Yes.
so it was just like, what makes I was like, I told him straight up, I was like, sir, I just want to state for the record that I was not swerving and that I was driving safe given the weather conditions.
Right.
So, and he's like, "Sir, you were driving at a very unsafe speed." And I was like, "Well, what makes you say that?" He's like, "Sir, we were going 85 to 90 miles per hour and you just flew past us. So you must have been going
Oh,
at least 95. There is
mm,
no way you weren't going 95." And
wow.
then part of me was just like, bitch, like, like I'll take your ass to court. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna have to like
Right.
prove it. Like, no, you're gonna have to admit you were driving 85 to 90. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. At any rate, no, they were cool though.
Okay.
It was like the first time I've ever like, but also fat Mexican dude in Prius, not stolen. And I'm flying at 95 miles per hour. What are they gonna think, man? They're gonna think that like I stole that car. It looks like I stole that car. It doesn't look like I own a Prius. It doesn't look like I own
Yeah.
that car. So it just looks like I stole it. But it's crazy though, man. I don't know. Like I don't, but no, I definitely got pulled over for speeding, not for being
Mhm.
Mexican. But I like
Yeah.
to I like to throw that in, just to add a little juice. But I don't know. I think it's a messed up system that like is going on with I don't know. What do you think about the state of comedy right now? Post pandemic. I mean, it's still technically like, there's still sanctions and all, that certain places have
Well,
to
I got
adhere.
to be honest with you. I personally, Yeah, I'm an old man, so I'm just happy to be alive, and I'm just taking every day at a time. And I think, and I'm having a great time doing comedy every night. Uh, I'm probably going to do bigger shows soon if I keep breathing, but I'm just happy to be doing comedy, and it's going to change, and there's nothing that we can do to stop that change. There's nothing we can do to stop, and there's always going to be really horrible comics. But
Absolutely.
the beauty
Absolutely.
of the horrible comics is that they help the ones that are pretty good move up and faster. All right. And that's how it is. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. Um, One of the things you have to be very careful of. Here's the deal. It's casting. Let's say if somebody wants you, they want you, they don't want me. There's nothing that I can do to stop your success. Do you? I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
If you're going to win in this game, you're going to win, and no one's going to stop you. All right. So keep that in mind. So when you run into people who aren't working as hard as you, who aren't as smart as you to make things happen, and things aren't quite happening for them, that's on them. That has nothing to do with you. And if they try to stop you, don't get upset with them. Don't be mad at them. Just avoid them.
Yep,
Okay? Because
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know. I give people the same energy that they give me, but like,
right,
but lately though, I've been stepping away from that philosophy because it's just like sometimes people give me negative energy, and it's just like, you know what? I'm not going to reciprocate that energy. I'm just going to just
don't.
deflect it and just be like, you know what? If you really feel that negative, well, then feel that negative. But I don't want to be around that because, like, I've already been through too much negative stuff to have other people be like, hey, and you know, and you're doing this wrong and blah blah blah. But I swear to God, it is always plus size comedians that have the most funk with me. Pound for pound, they have the most
Oh,
funk
oh
for,
wow.
yeah, pun intended. But like these fat guys, like with gout, like think I'm gonna step on their toes with like all these fat guy jokes or something, or I don't know. I swear to God, man.
Wow.
Like Nick Huffman one time organized like an all fat guy show, but I think that
Okay.
was the only case of fat guys I've ever oh yeah. Oh, Greg Azadorian told me there was a tour of fat guys called the Burger Kings of Comedy. And so
Mm.
I'm just like these are the only like fat guy like I don't know combinations I've ever seen before, but like usually like fat comedians hate other fat comedians, man. It's really
Really?
yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, but no, no,
Well, here's the deal. Here's the deal. A bit of advice, please. Whatever you are far more skilled and talented than your average comic. So please, really don't fall for people's bullshit. Because I'm gonna tell you something. The ugly shit you do to people, I don't know if this you call it karma or whatever, but it boomerangs back on your ass. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So you really need to just let people be in their shitty world. If they're unhappy, go ahead. You want to be unhappy. Don't put that on me. All right? I don't get down like that. And
right,
so I suggest that you, my brother, you are really a great talent. Don't fall for these motherfuckers and don't fall for this bull. I'm sorry, I'm talking this way, but don't fall for
no,
that
you
bullshit.
no, it's real, man. It's from the heart, and you don't have to apologize for keeping it real, man. Like this isn't a
Yeah.
clean podcast. I'm not all like Tony and my mother listens to this. I'm like, well, she needs to, if she's listening, guess what, mom? Sorry, well, fuck. You know what I mean? Like it's just
There
like
you go.
I forgot I was my dad. I said some really inappropriate comment where she's like, "Hey, your mom's right there," and then my dad wasn't there, and then my mom said a really inappropriate comment. And I'm just all like, "Why did my dad stop me from saying what I said earlier?"
Oh, that's
Like
funny.
it's just like what it's just like any rate, but My family's cool, but it's just like I don't know. My parents are in their 70s now, so
Okay.
I'm just like fuck, man. But like I'm just trying to go there as often as I can to the Bay, and I love going to the Bay, and then like seeing you, and it was just it was surreal, man. Like just like it was just like man, this is like back in the day, man. Like it's like Brainwash, but just at a different spot. It was
Yeah,
like
that place is so fun, and it really kind of blows my mind because it's in a super Caucasian, super white area. I'm gonna
oh
tell you how
yeah.
white. I'm gonna tell you how white it was. The first time I went, one of the first times I went with a white comic that who took me down there, and the police stopped him. He was driving. The police stopped him.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. That's so fucked up. I'm
But
just
that's how
laughing.
white it is, dude.
No
It is
way. They
white.
did not fucking stop him for you for did he get a ticket
They
for
stopped him. No, they didn't get a ticket. And here's the thing, though, they didn't fuck with him. But this dude had drug, weapons, all kinds of things on his record, and they still let him go.
holy shit.
Yeah, but
Damn,
they
that's
showing the fuck stopped him for saying that he turned the wrong way.
oh my God.
Yeah, just saying that he turned the wrong way on the street, which he didn't because it was it was a lane that went that way, and he had a choice to go one or two ways, and he chose to go to his left. And when he went to his left, they were came right behind him.
That is so unfair. Yeah, man, that sucks, man. I've been pulled over for being Mexican on a Thursday night. And it's a horrible thing because like
Yeah.
and like in Livermore, where it's like ultra, I don't know.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was just like on my way back from there, and it's just I didn't get a ticket, but I'm just like, oh fuck. And I had just smoked a joint, and I had the munchies. I was gonna go to Jack in the Box, and you know what I mean? Just have one of those fat guy moments. You're driving and you're
That's
eating at the
funny.
same time, and just like you're by
Well,
yourself.
that's funny. Well,
But
I'm about to get my license back after all these years, and I'm
oh,
going to
that's
be
sick.
driving, and I'm a terrible driver.
Oh, don't
So
say
I'm
that. You
sure. Oh,
live you live
I
up a
am.
hill too, so
I
that's
am
kind
a
of
terrible driver.
that's a scary, scary
And so
thing.
they are definitely going to be stopping and pulling me over. And I'm just got to say, hey, I'm terrible.
Oh
I
my
have,
God. That's
I
so
have
funny.
balance issues that continue when I get in the car.
Balance issues? Fuck, man. I don't want you on the bridge when it's windy then.
I
Because I'm fucking serious, man.
know what you mean. I
Because
know
like
exactly what
dude,
you mean.
I'm not
I
even fucking
felt
with you.
that.
I like, dude, the Richmond Bridge especially, man. Like that's like dude, that it's like I've been on that bridge where it's been like hailing and it's like there's this like strong winds, and I'm just thought like,
Wow.
man,
Me
Sally
too.
Tomatoes better be fucking bumping tonight
Yeah.
because this is too much. What the fuck am I doing? Victor, you're literally on a span of bridge that was supposed to be up only for 10 years, and it's been up for like 40 or 50 fucking years, and it's like I don't know, teeter tottering, and I'm just like, am I doing like a tightrope act with my car?
It's
Like
funny.
this is fucking scary. This is super scary. And of course, on the ride back, same thing. It was the same, like it was
Wow.
just still swaying, and I'm just like, this is a badass bridge. Like whoever built this bridge, like this extent the Richmond Bridge, like that,
Right.
like that was. I mean, like I said, it was a bridge that was supposed to only last for 10 years, and it's been up for like 50 years or something ridiculous like that. Like it should not be up right now.
Exactly.
Like that bridge is, I hope I'm wrong, but
It
like
was a
God, like
temporary bridge.
it was a temporary
Hey,
bridge
speaking
that's
of temporary or not being, Sally Tomatoes is no more.
yeah, I found that out through Casey, and it was messed up because I was supposed to headline a show there on the 27th. He was like, "Oh, I could put you on at Max," and I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, "Okay, cool, fuck it." You know, I'm down. So I'm just like, I guess I'm gonna be up in the Bay or in the North Bay and during the holidays doing the Casey run. But like,
Fantastic. So you're gonna do Three Disciples as well.
yeah, and then the other one, Furthermore Wines, which was a really good show last time I did it. Like it was really fun and funny and just really like what like it like I don't know, like it was something I wasn't expecting. It like it just had like it was like a wine bottle shop. And
Mm.
so it was just like, and it was like narrow, and there was these like, I don't know, like sophisticated, older looking white women there. And I'm just like, oh, they're gonna hate me. And they were laughing their asses off. And I'm just
Yes.
like, fuck, man, this was a great crowd. Like everybody was great, and like they were on board, and it was just fun and funny, and it was just like, but it was like one of those like, it was one of those things where like the owner is like super cool, and here's a bottle of wine to go home. And I was like, it was like
Oh,
like I'm like, that's cool. I don't know if we got any free
wow.
drinks there because like I was headlining, so I was like, I'm not gonna drink before I go on stage, so I'm just like, I think I'm headlining that show again, at the end of December, but like
That's beautiful.
I need to do different material. So um I don't know.
Um,
I've done Casey's show, The Three Disciples, when lockdown was happening outside, and it predicted it was going to be like 53 degrees, and I was headlining, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm going to cancel that show because Facebook says only 4 people are coming, and it's all comics.
oh,
So I was just like, I almost canceled that show, and there was like 60 people at that show
yes.
outside, everyone freezing their asses off. One of the best shows I've ever done. And
Yeah.
like it was just like definitely the best outside show I've ever done. And it was like one of those things where like all the comics were dying except for me and one other comic. Like we were the only ones who did not die. It was
Yes.
fucking fun and funny. It was just like, but dude, it was freezing cold, man. And like even before the pandemic, man, like I did like a men's health expo, like outside during the
Ah,
morning time with families, no
okay.
alcohol, like men's health expo. I'm like, hey,
That's funny.
where's the booze? Like,
Ah,
it's just like if you didn't bring any and you don't have any in your car, there's no booze. This is a family event. There's a men's health expo. I'm like, I don't know how I got booked on this. I don't know how other people got booked on this who are not looking like they're gonna, survive another 5 years because of their alcohol and drug problems. But when they need comics, they get comics, and I don't think there's and that's so funny. What's your advice for new comics? Don't. But yeah, no, that is some solid advice. It's hard and it sucks because like, it's once you get to the next level, you want to get to the next level, then you want to get to that next level, and then you want to get to that next level. It's just never ending. It's so funny.
right, but people don't. It's not what people think it is. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I
People
mean,
think that comedy is one thing, and it's not. I've had people say, "Oh, if you ain't funny to me, you ain't gonna succeed," or "Oh, make me laugh," and like, no, motherfucker, it don't work like that. You know what I mean? It
absolutely.
doesn't. But it's not what people think it is. Like people think you can just get up and talk, and that's what it is. No, it's not. It's not that. It's just so weird how people have no respect for it. They think that, and they only respect you if you're famous, and then if you're famous, they come and just shout out your catchphrases. Do you
Yeah.
understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just really, really, I don't know. And also if you're good looking, like, like if you're like really like genuinely like skinny and good looking and white, like, sometimes the audience is just like they'll eat up any of the shit that they say.
Oh, anything that you
I've
say, and
seen
then
it. And I'm like not trying to
nothing
sound bitter,
matters.
but I'm just like, yeah, I need to lose more weight. Like I lost 108 pounds and I'm still morbidly obese. Like I'm just trying to be moderately obese, And,
Funny.
and so it's just like, like trying to do everything that I can, you with I mean, I stopped eating past 8. You know how hard that is as a comedian, not
Oh,
eating
without
past
doubt.
8. Like that means not drinking past 8, like alcohol. And
Right.
sometimes it's just like you have these like low paying gigs or gigs where you're gonna like break even with gas or whatever, and it's just like, well, I got a free meal and a free drink, if you're lucky, or just free drinks or whatever, and it's just like it's hard to say no. And like, what are you gonna do? Get a Diet Coke? You know what I
Right.
mean? It's just like, no,
Right.
man. You want to get like a mojito or like a margarita or like a tequila or I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just naming all these Latino drinks, just for the culture. No, I'm just kidding. No, no. I mean, I'm just naming out drinks that I think are like. I'm like, well, when I'm at a bar, I want to get drinks that I normally wouldn't drink. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that's. I mean, I don't know if that's selfish or stupid, but it's just like when I go to a Mexican restaurant, I try to get food that my mom doesn't make. I don't order the food that my mom makes and then
Of
compare it
course.
to my mom's food and be like, well, my mom's is better. It was
Yeah.
messed up though because I told my mom that I spent $4 and I got this sope, which is like, it's like a open faced taco with like a really thick shell. And
Okay.
my and dude, it was like I had a chorizo. And I was like, Mom, I paid like $3.75 for one, and it was almost as good as yours. And she's like, oh, then I should charge $4 for every one that I give you. And I was like, damn, Mom, what a hater, hater. But yeah, man, like this is really awesome. I really think that the Bay Area owes you a huge thank you, for being there. And man, especially Thursdays at the Brainwash, man, that was crazy, man. Crazy. Like I mean, I remember sometimes there was like 70 something comics or more. I
Yes.
don't it was
It was always mostly at least 50 comics there ready to perform.
oh god.
And everything, and like the audience came in shifts. It was all in shifts. We just kept pumping and churning it out, and it got so popular we had to do like give everybody just 3 minutes just to churn everybody through.
I mean, everybody got 3 minutes. I mean, everybody, even like pro comics coming in, like it was like that was like the fairest system I've ever seen anywhere under any circumstance because that was legitimately fair. I mean, there'd be some times where like you'd let it, like not just you'd let, but like some comics would like do like 12 minutes or 15 minutes because they were just murdering the place,
Yeah,
murdering, and it's just like
but
show.
but that was a place that it was really tough. No matter what, it was really kind of tough to do absolutely great in all the time.
You know what though? It was so messed up because like I did a weekend with John Witherspoon hosting for him all weekend, and I told myself, Victor, you have zero ego. You're going to the Brainwash on Monday and you're doing all new jokes, and that's it. And that was the Monday where it was all over Reddit, where it was all over the internet that the Brainwash is closed. And it's just like no way, and people like confirmed it that like they went to Brainwash, they saw that note, they took a picture and put on Bay Area Comedy Network like I'm in front of the Brainwash right now. This is I can verify this is true. And it was
Yeah,
just like I swear to God, it was like my heart got ripped out. I was just like I felt like I lost like it was so fucked up. Everybody was like
yeah, it was a big blow. It
this.
was a big blow to the community overall. Because it was the hub. It was the place where people went to learn new things or to try out new stuff. It was, and sometimes you would be at the Brainwash and you would tell a joke and you would get a Twitter, and you knew that small laughter was going to be so huge when you went somewhere else. You
Yeah.
see, but it was the place to be, and the food was good. The wait staff was usually kind, except for those two bitches that you got into it with that were stealing, got fired. And
I
the,
only got
this,
to enjoy it with one of those bitches, but yes.
well, here's the thing that's kind of funny: these motherfuckers got fired via digit online. And he just called and said, "Don't ever come back." like that.
Wow.
Whatever shit they left, fuck it. It's here. You don't even come get it.
It's not yours anymore.
Right.
Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's like you stole from me. Don't ever come back. I'm
That's
glad he did it like that. But I thought he already knew. It kind of was so weird, and I was afraid to say anything. And then when they started blaming us, uh, uh, Anthony and I were showing them receipts. Look, this is what we did that night, And they were like, "Oh," he was like, "Oh, okay." And
wow.
he got mad at me because he said, "You could have told me." I said, "I thought you know."
Wow. Yeah, that's shifting the blame and just, like not taking their businesses. I don't know, man. It just sucks how people point the finger, It's just like when you're
Yeah,
making them a bunch of money, it's like, hey, it's pat on the back, and then it's just like they're losing a lot of money. It's just like, hey, you're stealing from me, right? It's like, no, it's just like, no, we're not stealing from you. These other people are. But
right.
I don't know. I felt like the comedy shows brought in a bunch of business, and
Oh, it did.
I remember a lot of comedians would be purchasing food and drink and all that
Food and
stuff,
drinks, yes.
and it was just
A
really
lot of
like,
audiences. And here's the one thing that people never really remember about the place. Dude, as many comics as we had audience members.
dude, I can
We
vouch
had
for that.
very judgy humans in the audience watching, and they were really judgy.
What sucked is that room made me so confident on stage, like it was one of the first places where I was like, embrace the silence, and don't be scared, because sometimes people get scared of the silence when they're on stage, and it's just like you got to get over that, because sometimes it's funny to be silent on stage, but it really just depends on what's going on. But yeah, we've been talking about a lot of good stuff, and I just want to ask one final question for you, Mr. Tony Sparks. Where could the good people at home find you?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, right now, the one place or the two places that I would really love for you to come and check me out is every Tuesday at Max, 19 Broadway, Fairfax, California, at 8 o'clock. I really suggest, more so than anything, you come to that show. The other show is Wednesday, 7:30, the Ave Bar in San Francisco at 1607 Ocean Avenue. That room is something you will not believe.
Oh man. Well, I'm gonna be back in late December, and I think I have a Wednesday open. I'm gonna go. Is it weekly, or is it
It's a weekly, so
Oh
please, if you
wow.
can come on.
Oh man. Well, yeah, man, definitely will, man. That sounds really awesome. That's super cool. And yeah, be sure to follow Tony on all social media. Be sure to follow Tony. He's a great guy. He's super funny. Come out to his shows, whether he's hosting, um, on the lineup, headlining, whatever he's doing. Come out, check out Tony. He's a really funny guy, and he's been a really strong mentor to a lot of comedians from all levels, not just open micers that just started comedy, but also real comedians. And it's just so great to finally have you on the show, because you've been
Thank
a
you.
really great influence on me since the beginning, and so really really like inspiring, and just like pushing me to, like, hey, this is, like do, like, you don't even say do better, but just pushing me to continue doing stand up, and trying new things, and just going out there and being consistent and persistent with everything. So thank you, Tony, for keeping it real all these years and keeping it real on Papicock Podcast. And thank you for doing my podcast. I really appreciate it so much. And I really hope you have a great day, and bless you for your time. And check out Tony. I'm gonna link those places on the description for this episode so everyone could come through. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, do your boy a favor. Tell your friends, tell your cool family members, tell your cool coworkers. Let them know about the podcast, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and be sure to follow me on all social media, Puro Papi Pacheco, and check out my website at HispanicTitanic.com for future dates. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.
So just press OK.
Got it.
All right. Hello.
All right.
And oh, sorry about that.